Some of you might remember a discussion video I did back in 2022 about the whole Nintendo Music YouTube takedown controversy thing, where I talked about the different possibilities for how Nintendo could fix said issue by making the music they were taking down available officially. One of the possibilities I discussed in that video ended up coming true, making that video weirdly prophetic.
Release their own music service of some kind, app available on iOS and Android and all of that.
Nintendo Music, a smart device app.
Paying for it through NSO in the base level $20 a year version.
Available exclusively to Nintendo Switch Online members.
The ability to make playlists.
Can't find the playlist for you? You can also create your own.
Level theme types when you're in the mood for different styles of music.
You can listen to curated playlists based on different themes. There are even playlists to fit your mood.
The ability to change the amount of loops that each song plays for. People can make their own extended versions of songs.
You can also extend the length of certain tracks.
I mean, not really that prophetic. I wasn't the first to posit this general concept. I will give myself a pat on the back for predicting the ability to change the loop time thing. It's insane that actually ended up happening. So yeah, Nintendo announced and released Nintendo Music recently, and you know I have opinions about it. So I figured I'd do this video as a little follow-up to that original discussion and, talk about it. You'll want to hear my opinions on a Nintendo Music Player application, right? That's an important thing to address. So for those of you that don't know the context for all this, Nintendo has been in a bit of an ongoing controversy the past 5 years, where they've been going through and taking down uploads of their video game soundtracks from YouTube. They absolutely hate that people listen to their music on there, which sucks because YouTube is the most convenient way to listen to them. If you're ever in the mood to listen to Nintendo music, what do? You just open up YouTube and search it and bam, it's all right there. At first, people were like, oh, well, that makes sense. They don't want people to listen to it for free because, they don't get royalties or anything for this. Maybe they're planning on uploading them themselves or making them available for digital purchase. And then years went by and we had absolutely nothing, which was incredibly frustrating. What's the point of taking that stuff down if you're not going to offer up your own official avenue to listen to it? So a lot of us were surprised to see that in October, they finally decided to give us something, which is good. They have done something. We now have an official way to listen to their music. That's what we were asking for. It's about time, that took way too long, but hey, it's here. They've provided a solution to the problem. So the question then is, how good is this solution? Let's take a look, I guess. So, like it says in the tin, Nintendo Music is a music player app, NSO exclusive, thankfully just the base one, where you can listen to Nintendo music. It launched with a lineup of about 23 soundtracks here, but over time, asterisk for discussion later, they'll be adding everything, hopefully. It's pretty standard as far as music players go, with all the features you'd expect. The ability to make playlists that you can share, you can favorite songs, search the library easily and efficiently, shuffle, view your listening history, all that goodness. But they did actually add a few extra features that I do enjoy. First is, like I mentioned earlier, it allows you to adjust the length that each track loops. By default, it'll loop about once, sometimes none for some tracks. Actually, it's a bit inconsistent. I don't know why that is. But you can choose to loop it for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes, basically giving you the ability to have extended versions of all the songs, which is a really great feature. Personally, I can't stand listening to the same song looping for more than 5 minutes, so I'll just stick to the default ones. But given the popularity of extended versions on YouTube, there are a lot of people that will love this feature. If you want, you can indeed listen to this for a whole hour. You have that option. No one's stopping you. They really didn't have to do this. They could have just had each track loop the normal amount, and I don't think anybody would have really complained. But they noticed a particular way a lot of people listen to their music, and they added it in as an option, which we love to see, Quality of life options are great. Another little feature they added, which is more cute than useful for me in particular, but I like that they have it anyway, are these little official playlists they have on the main page here. They're baked right into the app. So each soundtrack has its own playlists, general highlights or specific themes, boss battles, dungeons, particular game modes. Splatoon has individual playlists for their fictional bands, which is really cool. They even have like the album art and everything. I love it. And even some more general ones like mood-based ones or character-based ones. A lot of these, though, are pretty empty right now, especially the character ones that each have like 8 tracks average. Whoa, Boo. That's a crazy lineup you got there. Wiggler. That's insane. That one's for Wednesdays. Eventually, I'm sure these will be more substantial. Again, hopefully, big asterisk. For now, they're just cute little optional listening methods. They gotta get some more tracks for my son, though. This is pathetic. A feature that's super useful, though, is the ability to block tracks containing spoilers. Since these are the entire soundtracks for each game, it would be very easy to stumble upon the final boss for, like, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet or Kirby Star Allies or something. So if you haven't played those and you want to protect yourself, you can filter that out for specific games if you want. I am now immune to plot spoilers for Nintendogs, thank God. Once again, this is a fantastic feature. It really does feel like they took time to like think about the user experience for this thing, which is all you could really ask for. A big thumbs up for all of those. Some other stuff I like about the app, like I said, everything is well organized and easy to navigate. That's great. The days of the horrible browsing system in Mario Maker is hopefully long past us now. I like how they have these little gameplay screenshots for each of the various tracks instead of just the album image for them all. Although I would have liked it better if you could at least like have the option to change it, but you know. I'm pleasantly surprised about some of the starter soundtracks we have here too, like music from the Wii channels. That one was crazy. And the Japanese exclusive Tamagotchi collection bodes well for the future. Asterisk. I appreciate that they have the entire soundtracks here, not just parts of it like I was worried about. They even have all the stupid little jingles and stuff that no one would want to listen to on their own, but it's great that we have it. There are just a few instances of missing tracks that I found, like that one puzzle theme in Metroid Prime is not there for some reason. And some Wii channels are missing, like the Nintendo channel. That had menu music. Why is it not here? Put some fucking respect on Gary and Allison's names, all right? Overall, it feels like they actually put thought and care into this thing. In my mind, if this was ever going to happen, Nintendo was just going to like half-ass it. I could just see them Nintendoing it. You know, not giving us basic features that other music apps have. They, at the very least, didn't just shit this thing out, which I appreciate. But I do have some issues with it, of course. You think Nintendo is going to provide their legacy content in an adequate and completely consumer-friendly way? Of course not. What are you, stupid? The first is really, really dumb on their part, and it's unfortunate because, like, this is the only obvious music player feature that they forgot to put in this thing. Composer credits. Yeah, there's no credits anywhere on this thing aside from Nintendo. It looks like there would be a place for it. You open up this menu here and you see track information. But when you tap it, it just says the song and game title we already see up here and then copyright Nintendo. Like, fucking obviously copyright Nintendo. This is a Nintendo app. What is the point of this menu? I genuinely don't know what happened here. Like, it feels like they meant for this to be the spot for it, but they just forgot or didn't have time or something. I don't know. Either case, just update the app. Add them in. It can't be that hard, right? They actually put more effort into crediting the fictional Splatoon bands than they did the real people that made these. I definitely don't think they're doing this on purpose or anything. Like, they're not deviously hiding their composers. I saw someone on Twitter posit the theory that this is simply indicative of a larger cultural thing in Japan where they're less likely to credit individuals for projects, which I don't doubt is a thing, but I don't really think that's necessarily the reason here. Nintendo has credits at the end of their games in which they do list composers and sound directors and such. It doesn't really make sense to me for them all of a sudden to just like be averse to this. It really does feel like they just forgot or didn't care enough in this instance to do it, which, like, both are shitty. Come on. I know you can find this information super easily anyways. Composer credits have been well documented on the web. It's just really weird not to have it listed on a platform that's specifically centered around the music itself. I I just really don't get it. They might go back and add them at some point, but it's definitely a shame that they weren't here from the get-go. Thankfully, though, due to the playlist sharing features, there's an account on Twitter called @NMCredit that's been working on crediting these composers in their own way by compiling all the songs that each person worked on into individual playlists. It's super cool. Go check them out. Another thing I'm kind of disappointed by that's only really going to affect like me and a couple other people. The max playlist size is only 2,000 songs, which seems like an absurdly high amount that you would never hit in a playlist. However, I'm strange. I like to make like one big playlist that I throw everything into so I can just hit shuffle and get random songs thrown at me, like from the entire library. I like the randomness of it. It's like being surprised, you know? But yeah, the limit is 2,000, which is pretty small, actually. I don't know what playlist size limits like other music platforms have, but I do know that YouTube's is 5,000. So yeah, Nintendo Music's is less than half than that amount, which sucks. I already started building this Giga playlist in the app, and so far with everything we have available right now, I'm at about 700 songs. So when this music library doubles in size, eventually, however long that'll take, I'll be pretty close to that limit. Once more though, most people don't listen to music like that. They make way smaller playlists. They're probably not even going to encounter this issue, but it still sucks that the cap is so much smaller than YouTube's. This is more of a personal grievance than anything now that I think about it. However, the last bad thing about this app that's not a personal grievance, it's a much bigger deal that sucked the excitement out of a lot of people, including me. Here's where all those asterisks come into play now. It's a drip feed, which I was really hoping wouldn't be the case here since they're basically just uploading MP3s, you know, as opposed to uploading ROMs that they have to probably playtest and troubleshoot. Thankfully, it is considerably faster than NSO games. So far, we've gotten a soundtrack a week, which definitely isn't the worst outcome, but it's still quite slow, given the pure vastness of Nintendo's library. I would have been completely fine with this if it was like a soundtrack every day or every other day, or even like a chunk of soundtracks every week, but no, it's just one every 7 days. This is just lame, honestly, especially given the number of games this app launched with, just 23. If they wanted to, Nintendo could have launched this thing with a gigantic size. Even if they just started with like half of the total number of games they've ever released, that would have been an impressive library. But nah, Nintendo is Nintendo. They gotta milk their legacy content. Because of that, at this point, it's like, why wouldn't everyone just use YouTube? Like, everything is available there right now for free. And yeah, they've been trying to take channels down and lots of uploads, but that is nowhere even close to wiping everything off the site. You know, people re-upload at a rapid pace. You cut off one head and two more grow in its place. That's how it is. In order to make their stuff completely inaccessible on there, they would have to go like full scorched earth, which would require way more resources and money that it's probably worth. And at that point, use those resources to make your app better, you know, compete with fan efforts, provide something that's better than what we have right now, then we'll actually want to use your app. Like I said, they added some cool features. The service isn't horrible, but it's definitely not enough. I had fun messing around with it. I might pull it out every once in a while, but really, I'm just gonna go back to YouTube. Like, why wouldn't I? Obviously, there are some downsides to that since, you know, they delete stuff, playlists often get messed up. At least in the app, as long as the app exists, the playlists are going to be intact, hopefully. But even then, on YouTube, it's way more convenient and easily accessible and free, so that kind of outweighs that. That's why I still think their best option would have just been to upload all their music themselves to YouTube. Like, put ads on them, collect that ad revenue, then for all of that uploaded stuff, you can take down all the other ones that you want because we have it right there in one place anyway. Nintendo would be making money, we wouldn't have to pay anything, it would be a win-win, right? Y'all would be making more money, in fact. Like, no one is going to buy an SO specifically for this app. Right now, it's just a fun little bonus for people that already have it, at best. So yeah, Nintendo Music is at least a solution. It has some neat features, it's fun to mess around with occasionally, but still not anywhere close to where it should be, in my opinion. So, similar to last time, how could they improve this? What could they do to compete with the opposition and bolster their own service? Here's how Bernie can still win. Firstly, you gotta pick up the pace on that drip feed, y'all. One game soundtrack daily or bi-daily would be best, but that probably isn't possible for a corporation like that, unless they have like a tiny group of people that have this as their specific job or something. So like a chunk every week would be best, even if it's just like 5 games, that would work for me. And hey, maybe new game soundtracks can just release alongside the games themselves, then you wouldn't be in an endless cycle of catching up. This would be a great, quickly expanding library that, admittedly, still couldn't compete with the fact that, YouTube has everything right now, but it's way better. That's going to be way better. Secondly, credit your damn composers. Put them right in that drop-down menu you already have, or better yet, add another line like right under the song title and game. Either one would be great. Just put it there. Thirdly, try adding more unique features that make your app even more attractive than other alternatives. Give us stuff we can't get with those other methods. You can up that playlist size for me and like one other person, or you can add a global shuffle feature, like an optional section of the app that will throw random songs at you from the entire library. You can give us the option to hide specific songs from that shuffle, so we can remove all the songs we don't like, or the little stupid jingles and stuff that we don't want to listen to, or just allow us to filter those out specifically, like have a remove small tracks option, or let us filter out all the ones under specific links. Or hell, you can add a separate feature called the Nintendo Radio that's essentially just a live stream playing random songs that you can tune into, like a radio station. That would be really cute. Have some fun little customizable options. Give us silly themes and such. That's definitely something that you can provide that alternatives can't. That Nintendo flair. Maybe you could have themes based around various consoles even that make the UI mimic those menus. They could be like a Wii one, a GameCube one, a DSi one, a Virtual Boy one that no one would use. It would be great. You could have the option to play little visualizers while songs are playing. Remember when those were a thing? I miss those. Give it the ability to connect to that fucking Nintendo alarm clock so you can play whatever songs you want to wake you up. I'm putting this shit on. Put beta and prototype tracks on there. Maybe even stuff we've never heard before.
Stuff you might not have even thought of.
That would be rad. Add even more info about each track. Like talk to the composers and get little insights on their creation. Maybe talk about instruments and stuff. I don't know. Do something. Get Sega and Capcom and Rare in on it, like you did with NSO. Like work out a deal where you can put the Sonics and the Mega Mans on here. If you wanted, you could even get like indie devs on it, like work out a way to put their soundtracks on there if they so chose. There's so many things they could do if they really wanted to bolster this thing. I mean, that goes for Nintendo Switch Online as a whole, but that's not what this video is about. They really could make this thing worthwhile if they so chose. I just don't think they will, probably, because they're Nintendo. Holding out hope, though. Or they could just put their shit on YouTube or Spotify. Anyway, that's pretty much all my thoughts on it. This is a shorty, just a Bizabizow update on the Nintendo music situation. If they change the app or do something else with their music, I'll talk about that too. For now, though, I'm gonna go upload some Nintendo soundtracks to my secret OST channel that you all don't know about. Tee-hee-hee-hee. I'm serious, by the way. I do have that, and you'll never find it.